I just finished a conversation with a small business owner here in West Michigan, and what came up was, and it wasn't anything new. I'd heard the same issues about not being able to find qualified staff. By qualified staff, what I mean is they needed to be able to have a driver's license and pass a background check. Like that's it. Those two things. And they're having a very difficult time finding those individuals, not with the driver's license, it's with the background check and it's something that we're struggling with here. Now, again, that is a small pocket of some of the issues we're having, but when I look at it a larger piece, there's an awful lot going on today, and that's that small businesses are struggling with, and the larger businesses too, where when it comes to understanding and changing into what this new environment looks like with, again, to go to AI, as we've talked about here at length on this channel, we're going to see more information out there where hiring is an issue for some of these small businesses, and then also a little look behind the scenes, some numbers on how AI is being utilized with some of the senior folks. So today's a little bit different on our live. I'm coming here covering a couple different topics today. I wanted to be able to kind of bring these two together because it's where I'm spending an inordinate amount of my time with my clients. Again, for those that don't know, my name is Ryan Howe. I'm a business coach that works out of West Michigan and around the country. I come here live on YouTube pretty consistently, just sharing information I share with my clients. I hope to earn your subscription. And today is going to be one of those days on the, again, on the program where I'm going to be kind of bouncing between two disparate subjects, but they're top of mind for employers right now. And if it's on top of mind for employers, it needs to be top of mind for employees, specifically those who are currently employed or those people that are looking for work. And this is something we're seeing: small business owners hiring fewer people. Again, links to all the articles we're going to look at today are going to be in the description. Be sure to go check that out. Now, small business owners are hiring few employees. They are. And let's see what this has to say here. So a new report shows fewer jobs available and small business owners continue to struggle to fill them. So the National Federation of Small Businesses, their jobs report came back, and 33% of small business owners reported unfilled job openings. Now that's down 3, so it is a slight improvement, but it still remains markedly higher than the 25%. This is something that I look at every single month just to see where this is at. Now with that, fewer job openings are happening because they can't fill the jobs that they currently have. Additionally, there are business owners who are actively not filling jobs because they don't know if that job's even going to exist in the next few months. It's pretty wild. All right, so let's keep looking into this here. Now, despite state-specific data not being available, and this is going to be Ohio. I'm in Michigan, but we're going to use some Ohio numbers here. Called quality workforce critical to the success of small businesses in the state. The tight labor market continues to be persistent. Let me get rid of that real quick. Where's that? Persistent challenge for Ohio small business community as owners struggle to find qualified workers for their open positions. Again, business owners work hard to keep up with their customers' demands, despite not always having full staff. Rarely is there anybody who is fully staffed anymore. Like, for all the people they would like to have, they're just not there. Now, 57% of business owners say they hired or tried to hire in July, down a point, and only 29% had openings for skilled workers and 12% had openings for unskilled, both down from June. And they're not filling. So as an example here, what we're seeing in my area and around the country is that where businesses are spending their time are on those skilled positions. That's going to be, folks that, not just with your degree, but they also have the experience that they want to hire into. It's where they're spending their time at. Not as much time or energy is putting into, unskilled positions or, frontline type of positions. Mainly because they can't find folks to fill them, and there's people not willing to work at the wages that the businesses want to levy. Like, those are two things that are there. So it isn't just a matter of not finding folks at the compensation rate that the businesses feel they have to have those jobs at in order to be profitable. People don't want to take the work either. So we're seeing that as well too. We don't know who's going to break first, if it's going to be people deciding to take the job at a lower rate, or if it's going to be businesses having to continue to ratchet up wages. We don't know which one's going to break first. It's always difficult to tell which one that's going to be. Okay, now let me go back over here to our next piece here. And this is more of an example. This isn't small business per se. However, this is an important piece. When we see this from the big boys, right, the largest employers that are out there, well, you're going to continue to see more and more downward pressure to your small businesses when you see this. So Microsoft is considering a stricter RTO policy. Now, there's another article I was reading today, basically, where a lot of people are just ignoring these RTOs. They're like, go ahead and try to fire me if I don't show up. Like, I'm still doing my work, I'm still doing my assignments, but good luck trying to fire me. You're seeing that with people. And until businesses are ready to let those folks go, you know, you're going to see people continue to defy it. However, Microsoft, stricter RTO policy. And I believe what they're looking at here is they want to have folks by January to be in their office 3 days a week. 3 days a week is what they're pushing for. Now, what does that mean? And why are they doing that? So there's a few reasons that that these larger businesses are doing this. One is they are removing middle managers. So that piece is happening. So they need the people more closer to where the managers are, because it's going to require more touch points with their management, right? So these less middle managers means less. It means more employees per manager. And what they want to do is get those employees closer to the manager to make it easier for them to manage. That's what's happening here right now, because they are finding less and less reason to have middle managers around. The other side of this, though, and this is a piece that I'm just, again, with my clients that we struggle with and we're constantly at, is that we don't want to get rid of our middle managers because they serve a very important purpose. However, that right now with what I want to say is here, we are consistently losing and basically transitioning managers between small businesses because of changes in benefits. Somebody's able to raise wages a little bit more on this side, so they'll bounce. And then a few years later, they're able to raise wages, and you'll see that person come right on back to the business that they left. So you're seeing a lot of bouncing in the middle managers world as well. Additionally, one of the things that they want is RTO by having everyone back in the office. And Microsoft is one example of this, but you're seeing it with others. Has to do with the fact that they just want more and more control over those individuals' time. Because what they're finding, and it's a very, very small minority of people, that people are doing 2 to 3 jobs in a lot of these tech positions. So they have 3 different employers, all while working from home, and that's not what these businesses want. You know, the rate that they're paying them, they want to make sure that they're only working for them. So there's that issue as well. But with this, again, it comes back to the small business world here, folks. RTO, their return to office mandate. What I would recommend to you is if you need to do it, make sure that you take into account that there's an awful lot of folks, businesses out there that don't have strict RTO mandates, and that are going to be look more and more desirable to your staff. Okay, especially in the skilled trades world. So just keep that in mind. All right, and then the last one here, last article I just wanted to hop into here, which I found this one interesting here, which is by the numbers and AI development disconnect. So workers say they pretend to understand the technology and fund their own use of it. So what does that mean? We're going to look at some of the numbers here, but they are specifically saying that within HR, your executive team, your leadership, a lot of these skilled positions, they are saying they know how to use large language models more than they do. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're not trying to lose I don't want to say it here. It's the same way, like we saw the same thing when the internet first came out. We saw it when there was more and more like website development, things like that, where folks like, yeah, I know how to do all that. I'm comfortable with that, while really not having any idea because they don't want to be left behind. So let's take a look at some of the numbers here. And this is really what I wanted to cover in the video over here for you guys was 91%. The share of surveyed C-suite executives said they've pretended to know about AI at work than they actually do. 79% of workers said the same. So vast majority of people, they say they understand large language models and honestly don't know much about it. The number of years within which most workers say they'll need new AI skills, that is not 5. That is a year ago where you really needed to start having your large language model skills. You are not, spend a half hour a day. This is my recommendation I have for people that I mentor, people that I have as clients, is like, yo, just spend a half hour a day practicing prompts and learning how to do things with these large language models, you are missing out, and you're already behind, but you're going to get further and further behind every day that you're not doing something. So carve out 30 minutes a day, do some prompts on these large language models. Okay. All right. And 2 and 3, the number of organizations that said they haven't yet focused on upskilling workers to use AI, which honestly, I'm not upset about. I'm frankly not frustrated. I still see this as something you should be doing as an individual to get better at. Businesses, just be careful where you're spending your money at. This is one thing when I talk to my clients about is, if you want to, make sure it is very, very narrow, the range that you are talking to your, with the training that you're getting for your staff when it comes to these large language models and AI. I wouldn't spend a lot of time on there because we still don't know how we're going to use it for a lot of stuff. Where I am saying absolutely spend the time at, though, is in the IT world. There's a lot of things that you can automate just in your IT server, with your mail server, any of your programs. So I would be spending some time there, but for your standard workers, I wouldn't be investing there yet. All right, half the share of managers or senior leaders who said they've received AI training compared to 23% of individual contributors. So they're giving training to them. Great. My thing I go back to is, how do you know it's valuable or not? Right. 135% recent year-over-year increase in reported generative AI course enrollment, which is great. And then 66% the share of surveyed workers said they personally fund AI tools for work. And they are using, because they don't have it at work, they are writing the check to be able to have the pro version of ChatGPT or Claude, right? Perplexity, whatever they're using. So they're out of pocket, so they can make sure that they have the skills to be able to do the work that they want to do. So that's what you're seeing there. So again, the whole entire video here, folks, the idea was just, I wanted to bring in these are the themes that I'm hearing from my clients. I'm hearing consistently, time and time again, this is where people are spending their time kind of worrying about right now, that they're missing the boat when it comes to hiring. Not sure is being able to get in the right talent, but also, do we even need to bring in talent at this point? That's one of the questions. And the other one is simply just, what am I even going to do with AI? How am I going to leverage these large language models when I don't even know what I want to spend time on? Because at the rate that I had one client, it was a great example. We were talking through Claude 3 months ago. You had to do a whole bunch of half steps in order to get it to integrate with Gmail in your calendar to be able to do things. Now you click a button and it does it automatically. Right. So how much time do we really want to spend developing these things when in reality, most of the companies that are managing these are actively working on solutions? Okay. So with that big thing come back, the big takeaway from this, folks, if you are an employee or and you're looking, just understand that more and more you need to find your differentiator. You need to make sure you are up to speed on all of the large language models that you can. And frankly, you need to understand that no one wants to hire right now. There's a very narrow band that people are looking to hire. Generalists are not something that are really in demand, where the world is looking for specialists. So find your specialty and get good at it, and then I think you have a much better chance of getting hired. And it comes to the same thing for the businesses, folks. Business owners, biggest thing for you right now is, if you do not have, you are not spending money on large language models. I would say, and this is what I'm working with my clients on specifically, is we are working towards automating and integrating LLMs where we can now. So when and if we do need to sell the businesses, which is what I help businesses get ready to do, they already have their processes built around the large language models, which is only going to increase their value. Because someone who's coming in, wants a turnkey business, they already have some AI aspects built into it, it's only going to help the sale and help them as far as onboarding. Okay. So with that, I appreciate everybody who hung out this long. Hopefully I earned your subscription today.